Yeah, the guy's back. I know they're fired up and ready to go. So going ahead and turn the page here to Green Bay, and it's a good team, man. They're playing good football right now. They've really come on, especially these last 3 games. Offense is playing at a high level. Quarterback is very accurate. And so we got a challenge on that side. And then this defense, I think I said it yesterday, it might be the best defense we've seen all year. So all hands on deck. It's going to take all 3 phases for us here this week. So go ahead and open it up from there.
And with that praise you put on the Packers defense, what particularly do you find dangerous about going up against them?
Well, personnel-wise, they're pretty loaded across the board. You know, you got multiple guys up front that you got to be aware of. Starting with Micah, do a great job moving around, so it's hard to get a beat for where he's going to be. Rashawn Gary's still playing at a high level, and then they've got a lot of depth up there too. Like you can tell they're really well coached. They do a great job shedding blocks on their front line. With the linebackers, a lot of respect for Quay Walker. He's been doing it at a high level now for a number of years, and Cooper, I don't think that he was healthy when I was calling games last year against him, but he shows up all over the tape. He's flying around. They're matchup issues for your backs in pass pro. You can tell they bring it. Fast players, sideline to sideline, and then I think these safeties is probably the 2 best safeties that we've seen all year long. They're extremely active in the run game. They're all over the field, and so we've got a tall task here at hand. And then when you combine it with the scheme, I think Hafley does a great job of making it simple for them, and yet to the offense it can seem fairly complex. And those guys just go out and they play really, really fast, and that's what shows up all over the tape.
We've asked you about Caleb last year, whether anything carried over to this season. He's been to Lambeau and won. Is there any sort of benefit to that for him, that he's done it before?
You would have to ask him that. No, yeah, to me each week's its own story, and so we got to go out and play our best ball here this week.
I know it's not a direct head-to-head matchup, but what do you like about the chess match with you calling plays and then LaFleur calling plays?
Well, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time now as well, and he's had a lot of success here in this division and in this conference. And so, yeah, it's going to be a big challenge because their offense they can put points up in bunches. Between the quarterback playing at such a high level that extremely accurate. He's willing to face, look down the barrel and take one in the chin while delivering an accurate ball. And you saw that last week with the game on the line there, that 4th down. I thought that was one of the better throws I've seen all year long from him. And then their wideouts are getting healthy. They got speed. They're really deep, and so you can't just hone in on one guy. You gotta be able to cover all of them. I know that they've lost Tucker Kraft, who was a phenomenal player in and of itself, but Musgrave's no one to overlook because he's capable of being a weapon as well. So when you combine all that with a running game that's starting to heat up as well, it's a dangerous problem.
We're online and seen some really good pass rushers all season, elite pass rushers all season. How have you seen the confidence grow in that unit going up against those tough defensive lines of pass rushers?
Yeah, no, we've faced a number of good ones. I think the last one that you really earmarked to a degree was Max Crosby, and he still was able to affect the game quite a bit there when we played Vegas early in the season. Hutch was another one just like that up in Detroit, and so we faced a number of them. We got obviously both Micah and Rashawn Gary here this week, and going forward, it seems like we're going to have somebody every week. So I think our guys do have some confidence. I do think they're playing well up front in both the run game and the pass game. I'm talking about our offensive line. They're doing a really nice job right now. But like I said, each week's its own story, and we got to go out there and create our own narrative here this week.
When you're deciding who's playing left tackle for you week to week or even down the stretch of the season, how much do you factor in the hope of what Ozzie Trapillo's ultimate trajectory is as a long-term solution at tackle for you, him being a second-round pick and all?
Yeah, I mean, the draft status is out of the window once they enter the building, so that doesn't play a factor whatsoever. We're always going to play the the guy that gives us the best chance to win the ball game. And so that's where it starts. I think he's an ascending player, just like you alluded to. He's still developing, and he's going to continue to get better the more reps he has. I feel the same way about Theo, too. He's a young player that the more time on task he gets, the better he's going to get as well. So I think that's a good problem to have, is to have a number of young options at tackle that are only going to continue to get better.
What is that process like when you sit down and go, okay, are we gonna make a change here permanently? Or at least while both guys are healthy, do you sit down with the position coach, with Ryan,
Yeah, I mean, we have staff meetings every week, and we kind of go over who we think is going to be available first and foremost. And, health is a big part of the equation on a lot of those conversations, but how guys have been playing in recent weeks, and really kind of looking ahead to the opponent, what's best for that opponent as well. So there's a number of factors that come into play.
You guys have run the ball the best on the road, the Cincinnati game last week. What have you learned about the way the run game travels?
Ooh, yeah, I guess that's not even something I thought about, just being on the road versus at home with that. No, I think that it's been a good thing because when you're on the road, certainly the crowd can be a factor, and so you need to be a little bit more under center potentially, just so you can get off the rock all at the same time. Or if you're in the gun, you're on the silent cadence, and so maybe that plays a factor into it. But no, yeah, I think each and every week we try to look to develop a run game, and if it's there, I'll lean into it a little bit more early on in the game and go from there. But yeah, we got to earn it each and every week.
Are you hopeful that you're gonna have some depth back at linebacker soon? And did TJ have some sort of setback with the hamstring?
No, we're still going par for the course there with that, and we'll see where that position room's at here today in practice. We got we feel really good about the two guys that have been filling in the meantime, though. Both Eamon and D-Jack have played really good ball for us. So we'll see who's up and who looks good here this week, and to what extent we can find a role for him.
And I know that
Byard's having a Pro Bowl season. Kevin Byard's having a Pro Bowl season here for you, playing like he's 24 again. How valuable has he been both on the field and also as a leader in that?
Yeah, no, he's incredible. Had a lot of respect for him from afar prior to coming into the building, and it's nothing but grown from there. I mean, he's done a tremendous job taking care of his own business first and foremost. To your point, he's playing at a really high level on that back end, picking up a new scheme, and he's really leading the charge, not just for the defense, for the entire team. I lean into him heavily for just kind of feeling the pulse for the locker room. He knows what winning looks like, and so his voice really carries a lot of weight for everybody in the building.
And as a follow-up to that, what are those conversations like with a guy like Kevin? And when did you realize kind of early on that this is somebody you could really lean on and could be a really key part of this locker room?
Well, yeah, I had a number of guys that I looked at and just looked at their careers and what they've done, and there's a number of guys like that I feel strongly about, and they know who they are. We meet on a somewhat regular basis just to make sure that we all see it the same. Try to give them a heads up on what the schedule looks like, and any feedback that they can give me of where I can better serve them. That's always welcome as well. So there's a number of guys like that.
What did you appreciate?
I know the passing game isn't where you want it to be right now, but how do you feel like Caleb is just progressing with the way he's handling or managing the offense?
Yeah, I think when I made that comment yesterday, it's easily to construe it as I'm not happy with the quarterback. That's not the case whatsoever. He continues to get better each and every week, and I couldn't be more pleased with how he played last week. And I know what the stats say. Throw those out the window. He's doing a really good job managing the ball game, and that's step number one for the quarterback. And so he's going to continue to get better. He's doing the process is really good right now with how he approaches the week, the way he's taking the coaching, the way he's applying the coaching. I'm very pleased with that, and I think we're going to continue to see him ascend, whether the stats tell the story or not.
What did you appreciate about the way that Dennis Allen called the defense last week? I know he's had to mitigate some injury risks and all those things, but the amount of dime, the pressure created out of those dime packages, and just his ability to adjust to who's on them every game.
Yeah, I mean, he's you can tell he's done it for a long time at a high level, and that's what we're getting from him right now. I mean, he knows who to sink into. He knows how to put guys in advantageous spots. I think he's got a great feel for the game of when to light him up versus when to play coverage and just rush four. And then he's really committed to getting the best guys out there. And so that's where we were a week ago. We felt really good about our DB situation and what we were going to get with that opposing offense. And so we leaned into that dime package a little bit more. Each week's a little bit different, so we'll see what we got in store this week. But yeah, I think that's what he does best is he maximizes the skill set of his guys. And there is zero for the entire building. I give them all credit. You know, there is no woe is me. We don't have this or we don't have that. No, that's not the case whatsoever. We've got really good players. Let's find a way to make this thing work with who we have.
Thanks,